Hello and welcome to The Learning Curve Back to School, a News 8 special. I'm Carlo Cicchetto. Tonight, we're taking a deep dive into an issue affecting hundreds of thousands of San Diego families, the shutdown of classrooms as the pandemic forces schools to start the new year with distance learning. From the challenges for students to the uncertainty for parents to the realities for teachers on the front lines, we've been working to address your concerns and get some answers. We start tonight with a look at where we are now when it comes to reopening and how we got here. Here's Shannon Handy.
This is the biggest challenge public education has faced in a generation.
Essentially, we're turning education on a dime.
I went into a little bit of panic mode, like every other parent.
The past several months have turned the education system we once knew into something no one ever anticipated.
This is a bigger challenge than anything I thought I might ever experience in my lifetime.
Coronavirus first hit the U.S. in January of 2020. On January 31st, the Trump administration declared a public health emergency implementing travel restrictions. That was followed by a state of emergency declaration in California on March 4th. On March 19th, Governor Newsom issued a stay-at-home order. While most schools had closed by then, it wasn't until April 1st when Newsom announced all schools should anticipate having to shut down for the remainder of the academic year.
We should not prepare to bring our children back into the school setting.
From there, distance learning ramped up, causing a wave of frustration amongst teachers, students, and parents.
He wasn't getting the learning that we were sending him to school for.
School districts throughout San Diego County admitted this system wasn't perfect, saying they didn't have much time to figure it out.
This was really intended to be a stopgap. We didn't have time to prepare for it.
With summer break came plans to improve virtual learning for the fall, though some districts like Poway Unified and Cajon Valley Union announced they'd be offering in-person instruction as well to those who preferred it.
As a therapist, I know it is really important for their social emotional well-being to be with each other.
Then came a major announcement from the governor on July 17th. With coronavirus cases on the rise, he ordered schools and counties on the state's watch list cannot reopen until that county has been off the list for 14 consecutive days, a feat San Diego is unlikely to accomplish anytime soon.
We all prefer in-classroom instructions for all the obvious reasons, social and emotional foundation, but only if it can be done safely.
And at this point, San Diego County hasn't met any of the metrics needed to get off that list. There have to be lower numbers, less hospitalizations, things like that. But some local districts say even if we come off of that list, they will continue with virtual learning until they feel it's safe to get back to class. And Carlo and I were just talking about this. Poway Unified, for example, said that the earliest they would go back, they just made this announcement, is not until at least January 2021.
And even with everything going on, we know that that did take some parents by surprise. They thought they would have an option.
Yeah, they did. And it's really been tough on school officials. It was tough to make that announcement, but that's what they feel is the safest right now. Now, as we wait to go back into the classroom, we wanted to know what those classrooms will look like in the future. So I visited the Cajon Valley Union School District to find out.
Lots of signage, lots of reminders.
Officials at Chase Avenue Elementary School in El Cajon already have a good understanding of what classrooms should look like.
Students are grouped in small cohorts.
That's because for the past couple months, they've allowed children on campus as part of the Cajon Valley Union School District's summer enrichment program.
Is a large rocky object.
The setting, very similar to what parents and students can expect once in-person instruction is allowed for the upcoming school year.
Students actually adapt pretty quickly.
Principal Brian Hanley gave us a tour pointing out things like how often teachers are sanitizing.
The staff are cleaning the surfaces in the classroom throughout the day.
To the kids' pencils and crayons.
Our students all have their own supplies. They use what they need from their supply kit.
Not only do students have their own art supplies, but their own playground equipment as well.
We've used these scoops where they're assigned to the student, and then the scoops and the ball, they're able to play with another partner back and forth without touching the equipment.
You'll also see desks spread at least 6 feet apart. Fewer students in the classroom, face coverings on teachers as well as kids. They're required for those in the 3rd grade and higher. Community water fountains are disabled.
If a student doesn't bring a water bottle, we have water bottles for them.
And group areas have been eliminated.
I think one of the biggest changes is just what you're looking at, that you have individual student work areas and you don't have that carpet in the front where all the students come up to and they're in a big group.
In addition, health screenings and temperature checks are done daily, and washing hands frequently is a must. Henley says as the pandemic changes, so too could the classroom setting. But for now, he's confident with the system in place, saying district-wide, when given the green light, all of its schools will be ready to welcome back kids full-time.
One of the key things is the agility of a school or a district to adapt. Our district's prepared whenever that time comes.
And even with those safety measures in place, some parents just aren't sold on sending their kids back just yet.
All those changes, though, that's got to cost a lot of money.
Yeah, because you're talking about PPE for teachers and students. You're talking about cleaning supplies, and those students, again, have their own toys and their own art supplies, so that costs more money, too.
It's going to look very different and cost a lot of money, as we said.
Yeah, so another hurdle they have to get over.
Yeah.